Hello. It's off-book movie summary speaking. Today I've summarized the film titled Without Remorse, which was released in 2021. Stay alert, there will be spoilers in my review. Take care. The movie starts with the U.S. Marines team, who are on a special operation to free Americans who have been held captive by the Syrian army in Aleppo. After clearing all the streets, the team meets CIA agent Ritter in the abandoned building, where he gives them the structure schematics and a briefing on the operation. The team leader, John Kelly, heads the assault squad, kills everyone, and successfully saves the captives. Kelly searches the pockets of one of the dead Syrian soldiers only to find out that they weren't the Syrians but Russian soldiers. He senses some dangers and instructs his men to leave the place immediately. On their way out, they were attacked by Russian men who fired RPG rockets at them, which crumbled the floor and caused his team to fall to the ground. Kelly and his men conduct a counteroffensive to save their lives. After slaughtering all the Russian troops, Kelly's team, Ritter, and the remaining hostages ran to the helicopter that was waiting for them. Kelly rants angrily at Ritter and blames him for the deaths of his men. Because it looked like Ritter was setting them up to attack and get killed inside the Russian army ammunition depot. By stating that he didn't know anything, Ritter denies the accusations. 3 months later, Kelly had retired from the military and spent his days with his simple family. He has a pregnant wife named Pam, who is anticipating giving him his first child. The family feels happy and excited about Kelly's new job as a security guard. However, in North Carolina, one of Kelly's team members, who also retired from the military, spends all of his time at home with his kids. Unfortunately, he gets hit by the speeding car when he is taking out trash. That evening, another of Kelly's friends who took part in a secret mission in Syria was assassinated by a group of unknown people in the middle of the street. Moments later, Kelly and his wife are getting ready to sleep in their bedroom, but Kelly, who couldn't sleep, decided to go upstairs to eat his snacks and listen to some music. Suddenly, his laptop shuts off, and before he can fix the electricity problem, he hears some voices in the house. So he secretly retrieves his gun and follows his protective instincts. He realizes that several people have sneaked into his house. The intruders went straight to the bedroom where Pam was seemingly asleep, and shot her multiple times. Kelly fired at them and managed to kill several of them, but he was shot quite badly in the crossfire. Luckily, the goon who intended to finish Kelly ran out of bullets. Then he opened his face mask. Without trying any further, he left the building. Kelly crawls on his stomach towards the bedroom to see his pregnant wife, only to find she is motionless. Because of the gunshots, neighbors called the police and ambulance and he was brought to the hospital with severe gunshot wounds. After the rampant killings, an important meeting was held between CIA officials and the Marines. Ritter explains what happened, and the FBI has already launched the investigations. He goes on to inform them that he has initiated an investigation into the deceased's drug abuse history. Ritter is trying to derail the investigations, so Karen confronts him after the meeting and informs him that he must have some respect for her fallen soldiers and the affected families. After a while in the hospital, Kelly has pulled through the coma, and the team captain, Karen, pays him a visit. She informs him that his pregnant wife didn't make it when they reached the hospital. Kelly informs her that the assailants who broke into his house were experts, not ordinary robbers. He requests that she give him the names of the people who attacked him. However, Karen declines and advises him to take some rest because the case is under investigation. A few months later, Kelly finally recovered and joined the U.S. for military therapy sessions to recover from his physical conditions. Moments later, Karen is called into a closed-door meeting with Ritter and the Secretary of Defense, Thomas Clay, in Washington, D.C. According to the investigation, Ritter claims that the killers of Kelly's wife were Russian soldiers who were members of the FSB, or Federal Security Forces of the Russian Federation. They did that in retaliation for Kelly's team's attack on their ammunition depot in Damascus a few months ago. He informs the secretary that the CIA has decided to close the case because it doesn't want to cause trouble with Russia. Karen seems to not like the idea. As a result, she meets Kelly at the rehabilitation center and informs him that the perpetrators were Russians. She goes on to give him the files and photos of the passport maker who assisted the Russian soldiers in entering the country. The grieving husband, Kelly, decides to channel his frustrations into motivation to deliver his own brand of punishment. So he goes to Andre's apartments, pretending to be drunk and walking unsteadily, but the security guards stop him and chase him away. Kelly gets back to his truck and drives after Andre's motorcade on the highway. He collided with him and squeezed his car between vehicles, making it difficult for him to get out. He sets Andre's car on fire before he enters it and points a gun at him. He threatens him while shooting him in the leg in order to reveal the person who led the attack to his family. Andre reveals that the name is Viktor Rykov, despite the initial refusal. Kelly finally exits the vehicle and is arrested by the police. The following morning, Karen visited Kelly at the prison. She informs him that the attack on Andre might cause a new Cold War between Russia and America. Everyone in the office is disappointed and not happy about his behavior. But Kelly is not backing down. He tells her that he's going to kill everyone who's behind his wife's murder, no matter where they're hiding. From Kelly's mouth, he says that he has the information the CIA doesn't have, and if they want to know that information, they should get him out of jail. Soon after Kelly returned to his prison cell, an officer ordered him to stand and face the wall so that they could take him outside for questioning. But he refuses to comply with his orders. Then officers are sent inside to drag him by force, and he fights against them single-handedly. He takes one officer hostage and threatens to kill him if they don't leave the cell. The officers couldn't help but stop their attack and leave. In that instant, a U.S. Marshal sent by Clay arrives and, through the mobile device, orders him to accompany the Marshal to the meeting. When he got there, he was requested to reveal the information he got from Andre, so he told them about Viktor Rykov, and then he was asked to identify him from the row of photos. Ritter says that Viktor Rykov is an ex-Spetsnaz officer. He became a Russian spy while in America and had been a long-time target of the CIA, but the CIA was unable to arrest him. Based on the intel, the Secretary of Defense informs them that Viktor is currently hiding in Russia. Knowing that his wife's killer is still alive, Kelly demands that he offer to help catch Viktor. Despite Karen's refusal, the secretary agrees, but on the condition that when the mission is complete, Kelly must return to serve his prison sentence. Kelly, Karen, and the CIA team prepare to depart on a passenger plane to Russia. Ritter changes his mind and informs them that he will meet them in Russia. Kelly becomes suspicious. After a few hours in the air, their plane approaches Russian Federation territory. Kelly is preparing to jump off their passenger plane when it is immediately intercepted by Russian warplanes. They request to land their airplane at the nearest airport, but when the pilot refuses, the Russians attack their plane, causing the plane's wings to catch fire. The plane then crashed into the sea. Kelly and the entire team fought and survived the water. Using boats, they headed straight for the Russian border at the safe house. Because of the plane attack, Kelly became suspicious of Ritter, who didn't come with them. He assumes that Ritter may have sold them out to the Russians because they knew of their arrival. Eventually, Kelly finds Ritter in Murmansk, where he is hanging out with some Russians, and an angry Kelly attacks and accuses Ritter of treachery, forcing him to reveal his motives. Ritter dismisses Kelly's accusations by stating that he only learned about their plane attack and the crash into the sea after he landed in Russia. He thought their team was finished. So he decided to come with 2 Russian mercenaries to finish up Viktor. He has Viktor hiding in one of the apartments in the city. After hearing Ritter repeatedly swear he is not a traitor, Kelly finally believes in him. Moments later, Ritter leads the team and storms Viktor's apartment. Surprisingly, Kelly finds out that Viktor's bodyguards have already been killed, and additionally, Viktor is already waiting for their arrival. Viktor is seen wearing a suicide vest and holding the bomb trigger. Kelly overhears Viktor saying that he's not the one who killed his pregnant wife, and secondly, they are in the same boat as he claims to be a CIA agent. He continues by stating that the Central Intelligence Agency led them here to kill themselves because they were taken as pawns to fulfill the king's wish so that America could go to war with Russia. Viktor pressed the button and blew himself up after he finished the conversation. Unknown to them, a sniper from another building starts to fire towards them and one of Kelly's men is killed instantly. The sniper went wild and killed 2 Russian policemen who were on patrol outside the building, so it is certain that Russia will accuse the American government of killing the 2 Russian policemen. In the ruins of Viktor's apartment, they find it very difficult to allocate the sniper's position, but then Kelly passes through a hole after learning where the sniper is hiding. Finally, he manages to smoke him out. Unfortunately, outside the apartment building, the Russian police and soldiers had encircled them in the apartment. Kelly ordered his troops to flee through the backside while he tried to engage the police and the Russian soldiers. Kelly starts throwing grenades at the police cars as Karen and her squad manage to flee in the van. The gunfight continues between Kelly and the Russian soldiers. He uses his military skills to kill some goons who try to enter the apartment using the stairs. Moments later, Kelly, who disguised himself as a Russian army officer while covering his face with an ear gas mask, walks unsteadily and escapes the encirclement. After spending the whole night driving the van, Kelly finally arrived at the location where his team had gathered. The team immediately departs from Russia by ship. On boat, Kelly inquires about Viktor's CIA employment. Ritter tells a little about him and suggests that Kelly should fake his death to escape a prison sentence. He will give the fake report to his superiors that he died in action. Kelly apologizes for his previous behavior. He acted out of anger and frustration. In Washington, Kelly followed Secretary Clay into the restaurant restroom. He informs him about Viktor's pawn conversations. Clay seems not surprised, which means he knew all the dirty games played at the Hill's capital. Kelly kidnaps Clay in his vehicle and threatens to kill his entire family if he doesn't tell him the truth. Clay finally explains the reason why he assigned Kelly to this mission. America intends to go to war against Russia because he wants people to come together, which boosts the economy and strengthens its military power. That will help America dominate and rule the world. He tells him that from Syria to the recent mission, his team was nothing more than a bait. All these reasons made Kelly more angry, so he drove and sank his car into the river, drowning himself in Clay. Karen pulls him out of the car and the recordings. A few days later, Kelly was pronounced dead by suicide, and his body was buried near his wife's gravestone. Ritter hands over the voice recording that Kelly took before he killed Clay to the CIA chief. In the last scene of the movie, Karen gives Kelly a new passport at the airport and tells him to start a new life under a new identity and not forget about him. Thanks for watching, but don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more of my videos. Have a good day.